Howdy folks, Shell Presto here today with a 3-marker challenge. But today I'm not picking the markers blindly out of a hat. Today I'm using 3 colors chosen by Copic, an art supply company that makes the Cadillac of markers. Does everyone get that reference? The iPhone of markers? I'm actually a bigger Android advocate, whereas Cadillac does make some really luxurious cars. So I'm more inclined to go with the Cadillac comparison. Anyway, on the official Copic blog, they choose 3 colors every month and invite artists to see what they can make with them. I don't own any of March's colors. Art a la carte calls this Copic Bingo. And my local Michaels doesn't have those colors in stock. But Copic has been putting out these challenges since January 2018. So I was looking through the backlog of Copic Color Challenge posts, and I found that in August 2018 I did in fact have all 3 colors, so here we are. The colors I'm using for this challenge are Y00 Barium Yellow, B02 Robin's Egg Blue, and B24 Sky. I used Copic multi-liners in Cobalt and Sepia to line this drawing. Partially because I think it looks really neat when you use a multi-liner, the temperature of the color you're going to be coloring something. Like the yellow is warm, so I use the sepia, and the blues are cool, so I use the cobalt. But also partially because I was afraid if I used black, I'd be really tempted to add dark shadows with the pen. These 3 marker colors are really pretty together, but there's not too much difference in tone between the blues, and I knew going in I was going to miss my dark darks. I chose to draw my original character Albedo because her costume is blue and yellow, and I like to choose a subject where the color feels somewhat accurate for these challenges. Of course, her skin isn't bright yellow, but you do what you can with what you're given. Albedo, if you're wondering, is, according to Merriam-Webster, the term for the fraction of incident radiation, such as light, that is reflected by a surface or body, such as the moon or a cloud. Albedo, the superhero, can create a force field around herself that repels blows and projectiles, hence, reflective. So when I drew her, I intended to have her looking at the viewer, front and center. I have no clue how I screwed that one up, but I did, and I guess my pencils were a little too indistinct maybe? She's accidentally looking up and to the left, which makes her look bored. I fixed that later on the computer. So, the big obstacle with this piece is shading. The blues are great to darken the yellow, but B24 Sky barely shows up on B02 Robin's Egg. So what I ended up with are some nicely rendered shadows on the yellow bits of the costume, and, well, in places where the same shadow should carry over from the yellow area to a blue one, like on her stomach, the shadows just sort of disappear. They are there, it's just you can't see them well. It was disappointing and made her abdomen look a little odd, but overall I think this piece turned out okay. Since I couldn't go dark to add contrast, and since Albedo's force field flashes when it takes a hit, I decided to use white to my advantage. I really upped the ante on the white, making a flash in the upper right corner that overexposes Albedo's arm, face, and part of her torso. To further give some contrast, I gave her blue lipstick, even though that's not in her character's fashion comfort zone. There were concessions I was comfortable making, such as making her hair blue because I wanted it to look darker. But another thing that could have made the piece have better contrast, making her glasses blue, felt wrong. I didn't want to alter her costume unnecessarily, so I kept them yellow. Albedo, whose real name is Kei Nakamura, has really dark brown hair when colored normally. In our East End Irregulars books, she's one of a few college students who started a fraternity, Sigma Lambda Alpha Mu, or SLAM. The members all have superpowers and, in theory, fight crime in Pittsburgh, although their dedication is questionable. Albedo, despite one of her parents being a superhero, thinks it's a pretty dumb way to spend their free time, but goes along with it mainly to make sure her friends don't do anything too out of their league. Of course, if you're already an Ascension Epoch fan and you're in the know about East End Irregulars' Dismal Tide, you'll have already read that SLAM still manages to bite off more than they can chew, despite Albedo's best efforts. Okay, I normally go in at the end and add more white with a gel pen or gouache, but since I had to fix the eyes anyway, and because I didn't think this piece would look super polished in my sketchbook with or without the white because of how the blues were shaded, I decided to do my whites on the computer. I'll show an unedited and edited scan. In the edited one, I also added more white to her right, our left, shoulder because I intended to have top-down lighting in addition to the lighting from the flash. And I indicated that on her raised arm, but not on her shoulder. The top-down lighting was important to me because I think this snapshot of her would take place indoors or during the day, just practicing or goofing around. No matter how untouchable she is, I don't think Albedo would ever look this relaxed or overconfident in a real fight. That's not to say she's not capable in a fight. She certainly is, and she may be the most battle-hardened not by actually being in battles, but by association because of her parents. Most battle-hardened member of SLAM. But, yeah, she's still new at it, so when she's in a real fight, she's gonna be serious. So did you folks enjoy watching this challenge? Please let me know by clicking that like button. And if you want to see more of these 3-marker Copic color challenges from me, leave a comment, because I'll happily check for future Copic color challenge markers at my local art supply store. That is, if you guys want to see more of these challenges. But I'll probably spend my bucks on different colors or something else altogether if no one finds these amusing. Though I gotta say, it was pretty fun doing it. What would you guys have drawn with these colors? And as always, if you want to support the channel, I'll leave links in my East End Irregulars and other books below, as well as my PayPal tip jar. Either way, I hope you folks have an awesome day. Presto, over and out. If I had colored this normally, I mean, using more than 3 colors, it just might have come close to qualifying as a Draw This Again challenge. The pose isn't exactly the same, but the overall composition is similar to the last time I drew Albedo, 4 years ago. However, although the line work looks a lot better, and I'm sure a true even test would show improvement, it's not completely fair to compare because she's drawn smaller in the one from 2015, and anytime you draw something larger, you get to add more detail and refine it a bit more. But I thought you folks would want to see a side-by-side comparison at the end anyway, because it's good to reinforce that you get better drawing if you just give it time and keep practicing. Alright folks, hope you all have an awesome day. Presto, over and out.